What's up guys, it's Jay from Vanguard Tricking, and today we are going to be learning Cheat 9. Let's get it. So before we get started on Cheat 9, we are going to need a few prerequisites. So the first one's going to be hop front kick, and it looks a little bit like this. Lead leg in front, kicking leg at the back. We're going to need to be able to switch from one to the other. Another kick you're going to need to have is going to be the tornado kick. So first of all, one of the major differences between the Cheat 900 and a tornado kick is the way in which we set our arms. So for now, we can change it a little bit later on, but for now, to start off with, rather than going up with our arms, then down and back up to set ourselves up, we're going to go a little bit more side to side, so it's going to be almost horizontal. So we're going to be setting across like this. So the following drill is going to look like this. So the first drill we're going to do is going to be covering the takeoff and a ground spin. So the first thing we're really doing is we're going into something called, that I call like a ready position, or just a start position, where we have our kicking leg in front. So the leg that you're going to roundhouse kick with is going to be slightly ahead of you. With our back leg, we're going to turn it so that our heel is up at the back. Next thing we need to think about is our arms. So I'm going to stick my left arm forwards, like my elbow forwards like this, and my arms are going to be up, my head's going to be up. The next thing we need to speak about is spotting a target. So whenever we're doing a kick, it helps to spot the target to make it look clean and to make sure the kick comes out correctly. As we step across and we swing our arms across, we're going to keep looking forwards the entire time. If we're looking down at the ground or anything like that, it's going to set us on a slightly different axis. So now that we're in the ready position and we've set our feet and we've turned our shoulders, we've got our elbow in front, we're going to bring everything around in sync. As we step across, my kicking leg goes across. The next thing I'm going to do is, once I've spotted that target, I need to aggressively look back for the exact same point again, towards the target that I spoke about before. And as I do that, I'm getting into this position, so that my knee and my arms are level together. The first drill is going to look like this in total. Stepping across, lifting up and turning. So drill number 2 is going to be pretty much the same thing, but we're just going to add a little pop. We're going to do a small jump, doesn't have to be super high, and then we're going to focus a little bit more on the wrap. Drill number 2 is going to feel pretty much exactly the same as what we've just done on the ground. The only thing we're going to add is just a very slight jump, and that's going to come in when we've spotted the target for the second time. So as we've come across to here and we've gathered our arms on the outside like this, we're going to turn and bring the 3 limbs up. So our left arm, our right arm, and our left knee to the front. At this point, all we're going to do is, as I said, just a really small jump, and we're going to think about bringing our arms in. So you can think about doing almost like an elbow strike behind, and this right hand's just going to sit on top like this, like starting a lawnmower or something like that. So we're just bringing it up, okay? So once we've done the step and our arms are out, as we're coming up and I get to this position, you can do it in stages like this, or you can just get used to doing it all in one. We're going to add that small 360, so I'm stepping across and just jumping when my legs get to the middle. Another really big tip on this part is the 3 limbs. So as we're coming up, our left knee coming to the middle, our left arm as it's out, and our right arm. As we begin to gather that in, and we do that elbow strike revving motion, we must stay like this. If your leg overtakes your body, or your body gets left behind, or your body goes early, then it's not going to work as well, and you're not going to be in this sort of almost dish shape where we're holding a tight spin. So try and make sure that this is locked, and we do this throughout the entire spin, keeping the knee and the chest and the hips this level. All right, so drill number 3, we're going to focus more on the kick on this one. We're going to do it like a long tornado kick or like a longer takeoff on the tornado kick, and it's going to get us used to the feeling of doing the kick, because sometimes what can happen is people try and do it more of a switch and they have problems with that, and it's not a switch. So we're going to get used to the feeling of it. Long tornado kick, it looks a little bit like this. We're stepping across and we're going to pause when we get to the center, just where we're about to lift up our first leg. Once we've got to this position, we're going to just think about our angles slightly. Our left knee, the knee that we usually wrap with, we're going to turn it a quarter of a circle, so 90 degrees, and we're going to take it to about here. Now, before we spoke about keeping our arms locked like this, and they will be in just a second, but just to counterbalance and help us get some momentum into this, we're going to actually have our arms over the other side, so it's going to look a little bit like this, which looks a little bit funny. But then we're going to start to do our wrap, and it's when we get to this position where our arms and our legs sink back up again, when they meet together, that's when we're going to do our jump. And all we're going to do is pretty much, it's going to feel like a tornado kick. It's going to go from here, and we're going to do one hop, bringing everything in, like so. Just because we're setting up like this and we've got our knee turned to the side and we're kicking this way for the drill, don't do that actually on your cheat nines, because I will find you and I will jackknife your door down. Drill 4 is putting all of it together. So we've got the step from drill 1, we've got the lift and wrap from drill 2, the long tornado where we kick out to the front, and drill 4 is about keeping everything tight and getting it all to work as one move. So by now we should have some kind of cheat 9, but it might not be absolutely perfect just yet. So we're going to troubleshoot to take it to the next level. Number 1, not completing the rotation or the spin is slow. So that's most probably because you're not keeping your arms tight throughout the spin, or you might be unwrapping a little bit early. So we're going to go back to stage 1, drill 1. So drill 1 was our ground spin. I want you to see how fast can you do drill 1. So do your set position, step across, lift your knee up, and make sure when you wrap, it's as fast as you can get it and you spot back to your target. Common problem number 2, kicking too soon. So kicking too soon can often be because you might be rushing to get the move done or focusing on the kick too much. And it all comes down to spotting. Remember when we did drill 1 and drill 2, we didn't add a kick in until the very last part. So we need to make sure when we're doing it, we spot once at the very beginning, we spot again once we've done our step, and then you're looking for that third time that you come back to the front where we fire the kick out last second. It should come out right at the end of the move. It's the last thing you think about. Common problem number 3, leaning back or falling over during the move. If you're falling back or you find that you're leaning back on your cheat 9, it's often down to the setup. When we step across, you need to make sure that we hit this position we spoke about from drill 2. If we're leaning back and we're tilting this way, might be good for tornado kick, might be good for 540, not very good if we want to do a vertical spin for cheat 900. So make sure, go back, practice drill 2, and make sure you're able to keep your arms and your knee level, and we hit this position and you're able to get that spin and stay vertical. Hopefully with all those tips, that will help take your cheat 9 from okay to the next level, maybe great. If there's something that you're still struggling with, drop a comment below and we'll get back to you and we can give you some extra tips. So maybe you've got a cheat 9 and now you want to make things a little bit spicier. We're going to start to fire it from a K-step. So the K-step comes from the Korean Taekwondo guys. They use it for sparring when they're chasing somebody down, or you may have even seen them doing it to a bunch of paddle targets. It's a forwards setup, so it's going to give us a slightly different type of momentum for the cheat 900. If we can cheat 900, we should be able to do this version of the move. It's pretty much a mixture of a cheat 9 and a no-handed scoot. Sounds weird, but it works, and this is how we do it. I'm at the point where I'm about to jump for the move, where we're about to do that no-handed scoot. I've got my foot, let's use the lines for a reference point. My foot's facing down the red. Now, as I go to do the setup, my right leg is going to swing over a bit like we do at the end of a scoop or a blaster or something like that. But as I do it, I'm going to also swing my arms 45 degrees, and I jump, I hop off this lead leg and land on it again. And I want to land with both feet facing the way I've come from, so it would go like this. From there, everything's pretty much going to be the same that we've covered. Our arms have just done a 45-degree swing down, so we're going to need to get them back up. But we want to be careful that we're not swinging and leaning back like we spoke about before. We're going to bring our left arm up and set our chest upright. So again, it comes back to that spotting. We've got to get our arms level, do that rip to the back, so we're driving that elbow backwards and we're ripping the arm over the top. When we come down, the arms are doing 45 degrees down and we've landed 1, 2, feet to the back. I now bring them up to the front, spot my target, and we're in the original position again that we did on the side-to-side version of the Cheat 900. So the reason I'd recommend doing the side-to-side one to start off with is because on that K-step version of the move, there's so many different axes that our body parts are moving on. We've got 45 degrees with the arms, and then we've got to change it halfway through. So make things easy on yourself, isolate the move first, and then we can start to change it afterwards. So the main thing I think about when doing the K-step is swinging my right leg about a shin height. When it lands on that 1, 2, and I'm jumping off of it, I really focus on pushing as hard as I can, jumping off the floor with my right foot as high as I can go, but making sure that I'm hitting that level position with my left knee and my arms ready for that wrap. So if you're doing the side-to-side version of the move, the thing that I know Andy thinks about when he does it is making sure that he's completed his setup. Once he's set, so once he's jumped off the floor, he's level, ripping that spin, and really just thinking about kicking last second. Alright, so that brings us to the end of today's Cheat 900 tutorial. If you're still struggling with anything or you'd like some extra help, then feel free to drop us a message or a comment below. Make sure when you do get your Cheat 900 that you tag us in it on Instagram over at Vanguard Tricking, so we can check it out. Speaking about following, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that sub notification bell. For every share, you get an instant +5 to all of your kicking techniques, so get on it. Stay tuned for the next tutorial dropping soon. Peace!